Welcome back. Now we'll be talking about a very important file, which is the file of education in Egypt. How can we improve the education system in Egypt? What are the major challenges that we might be facing during the development and the renovation of the education system in Egypt? On Saturday, President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi met with the Minister of Education in order to have a plan, an ambitious plan, in order to develop and change the system of education in the country in order to have a better generation in the coming period. And to shed more light on the issue, we are delighted to have with us our dear guest, Dr. Rafaat Radwan, the Secretary General of the Arab Federation for the Information Technology and the ex-advisor for the Minister of Education. Hello, sir, and thank you for joining us.
It's a pleasure.
A very good morning to you, Doctor. The importance of the education file, of course, is a major priority for the new government as well as the President Abdel Fattah al-Sisi. Why in this current stage is it important, in your opinion, to work on the education system in Egypt?
Well, as a matter of fact, everybody knows that the whole world is moving from what we can call post-industrial age to what we call information and knowledge age. And the information and knowledge age is basically based on education. You are speaking about what we call the high added value of everything. So when we speak about sand, you can produce products of those sand, which will cost you a lot just to produce a very elementary element. But if you can use this sand to produce microprocessor, which will sell at $300, so you are speaking about one piece of sand which will generate $300. So education is the most and the one only driver to move a society from agriculture, industrial or post-industrial age to the new age. So if we are speaking about advancing Egypt in accelerated mode, the one and only one item which we should focus on is education.
Sir, as we are aware that the education in Egypt is facing many challenges. The people, the students who are going to schools are facing the problems of private lessons which they are taking, the crowded classrooms, and many are also saying that the curriculum has to be changed. How do you see these challenges and how can we overcome these problems?
Well, I loved in your introduction the word education system. And as a matter of fact, the education system has to produce educated people. But our education system is not producing educated people.
Yes,
it just produces people with certificates. So basically, that's why the word education system is not the right word to speak about the Egyptian education.
Unfortunately, it's very
It is a system, but it's not a system to produce learned or educated people. It's a system to just get a certificate. There is a written or unwritten agreement or a hidden agreement between the families and the Minister of Education. Okay? This agreement is just like that. We don't teach your children, and on the other hand, all our utmost goal is to get the certificate. So we end up by people getting what I can say the best grades ever with nothing in their minds. If you look to the outcome of the secondary school, for example, the last Thanawiyya Amma, for example, we are speaking about almost 60% of the total students getting over 95%. This is something which cannot happen anywhere on earth.
And the irony is after they get 95%, they don't have an opportunity to enter the universities that they actually wanted. They end up settling for whatever comes their way.
Exactly, but if you test this 95% correctly, it will not ever be even a 75%. The issue is you are creating a new mechanism, and this mechanism it just memorize everything and will test your memory. So this is the lowest level of intelligence. You don't ask those people to build their higher level of intelligence. You don't ask them about reasoning, problem solving. All the higher levels are not considered in our education system. So if we want really to look to our education system, we have to think in a different manner. It's not going to be reformed from the inside. It has to be looked upon from outside.
Yes,
We
indeed.
have to create a new goals and objectives for this system. We have to define a new outcomes for this education system. And based on those objectives and educational outcomes, we should define all other aspects. Okay? We are speaking about a lot of the problems, as you have mentioned. We are speaking about overcrowdedness in schools. But you know, in India, they have classrooms where class density is 170 and 175, but provide a reasonable education. And one of the best 500 engineers coming from the engineering schools all over the world are coming from the School of Engineering in India. So the issue is not the overcrowdedness, because in the private schools, we don't have overcrowdedness. We have schools with class density 15 and 20.
Yes.
But we end up by having the same result.
Yeah, actually, Doctor, that was going to be my next question. You mentioned private schools. So the issue is not class density, as you said. So what is the issue? On the one hand, you have government schools that are overcrowded. The education system is faltering them. On the other hand, you have private schools where a parent has to pay very large sums of money in order to get their children a decent education. You're talking about 50,000 and 60,000 pounds a year in some schools, and still they don't get the same level of education. So where is the problem, in your opinion, and why is it so difficult? Because every government that comes, every minister of education that comes has tried to deal with this education file, and still no result has manifested within the students.
Exactly. Lack of objective. Okay, if your objective is just to get the certificate, so you build all your strategy and you focus your effort just to get the certificate. So the main objective of our education system is just to get the certificate. No one, and our testing system is focused on one thing, memorizing the information. So basically, I want to get the certificate, and the system is testing one item, which is what do you remember about this item, okay? So basically, there is the hidden agreement, which I mentioned previously. You need to change this. If your objective is to get an educated people, so your testing system and evaluation mechanism should focus on testing those skills. Have you ever seen a system where when you get a question outside what's written in the books, you have a revolution in the newspaper and you have a revolution in all the media, okay, criticizing the Ministry of Education that they are getting outside the curriculum and they are doing, you are not thinking about thinking, okay? All what you are thinking about is just getting what's written in these books exactly. So what we need is to change the objective. Our objective is to create educated people. So you have to define, what do you mean by an educated person? Is he the one who is capable to recite what he has memorized, or is he the person who is capable to solve the problem, to think literally, to invent, to think in a different manner out of the books? And if this is your outcomes, how can you test them? Because it's so easy just to say, tell me about so and so and so and so and so. Rather, what is your opinion? So you are not speaking about critical thinking. You are not speaking about collaborative thinking. All what you are speaking is just, what do you remember about this item? And you see, by the end of the test, every student forget about what he learned. And you end up by a new page and a new paper, and you start the new year by a new beginning, which does not relate and does not build on anything on the previous one.